Chicago to his name up in lights. Don Miller is live every Thursday night. He's bold, he's real, no filters, no shade. When hits the mic, the truth gets laid. Don's in the building, his swag so tight. Check your feelings, he's exposing all the lies. Every Thursday at 8, his voice takes the stage. The man's got soul like a record with age.
Phil, am I on the air?
You are.
Man, thank you so much, everybody. Of course, it's Thursday night, the Don Miller Show, right here at thedonmillershow.com, streaming live on YouTube at The Don Miller Show. I got to put these glasses on. It's like 1, 2, it's 100 lights in here.
102.
102 lights in here. Again, shout out to Phil, the podcast doctor, my good friend who makes this happen for us. And, of course, we couldn't do this without the little white lady over there, back up in there, Amber Kuchia at Amber Kuchia Designs. Or even in her toughest moments, she's still holding it down for us, man. We love you, Amber.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all you do. Amber is a big part of this broadcast, man. Man, this is a great night. I'm so excited, of course. I'm always excited to come on and talk to the audience. We will be taking phone calls. I saw a lady the other day. She said, are you going to be able to take a few phone calls near the end of the show? We're going to put the number on the screen. We're going to take some phone calls. But I got a guest in the studio that is, I tell everybody this, one of my favorite guests of all time. Look, I always wanted to be scholarly growing up. And I grew up in a very difficult era and a very difficult area. And this brother did too. He is a serious scholar. He's in Mom at a mosque in the area. He is a serious conservative black man who believes in what is right. He has studied Ohio State University and the Ohio State University and many other institutions, Purdue, UCF. He is joining us tonight. You've seen him on this show. He's one of my favorite people in the world, Dr. V. Issa White. Hello, Doc.
Hello, Don. Glad to be here.
Man, I love you having you in here, man, because what you present to, what I learned from you, I like to be around people that I learn from, and I encourage other people to also seek knowledge. But first, I want to shout out Dr. White's book. It is a hardback book. You can find it on Amazon. I am reading it. It's called Blacklisted, The Price for Speaking the Truth. I really want you guys to go check this out. Dr. White is an esteemed scholar. He is a man of God, and he is about as conservative as we all hope to be one day in following the right way. So, Dr. White, thank you for joining us. Man, it's got so much to get to, man, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil, how are you over there?
Hey, man, doing good.
There's a lot been happening, of course. I have to talk for a few minutes. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I have to talk for a few minutes. Shout out to Shannon Burke. I was on Shannon's show today, Phil.
Oh.
And shout out to Shannon and Easy. Shannon Burke, who was a guy who gave me a wonderful opportunity to go to radio. I've been on the air with him before, years ago, and then he brought me back in the last few years to Florida Man Radio. We've taken a hiatus from that, but expect a big announcement. We will be coming back, the Don Miller Show, to Florida Man Radio, to one of the largest signals probably in the state of Florida. But we can't tell you much, but definitely in the next month or so, I will be doing a morning broadcast, I think morning, maybe midday, on Florida Man Radio, full stretch, 3-4 hour broadcast. So stay with us for that announcement again.
Don, what does your shirt say?
My shirt says,
if you trust the government, you don't know history?
absolutely.
I need to get a copy of that shit.
I got you, Doc.
Yeah.
Head over to the DonMillerShow.com. Again, thank you so much. I want to talk, Doc, briefly. Of course, we've been listening in the news about this Epstein case and how it is affecting this administration. I do believe that this administration got out of the gate in a bad way in terms of just the way they handled it. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States of America, was the Attorney General of Florida first. And if anybody knew and was familiar with Epstein, it was Pam Bondi, who was the Attorney General in Florida, Epstein's home state, when everything else went sideways for him.
Yes.
This guy's a bad person.
Extremely.
He's always been a bad person. And the American people were cheering that Donald Trump and his administration would do something that nobody else had done and just give us some information. They said they would. Some guys, they got there. Mr. Patel and a guy that I respect at a very high level, Dan Bongino, got there. I guess they opened it up and they started to look into it. And then last week we had the weirdest, I think the weirdest announcement that I've seen coming out of a political administration when they told us nothing to see here. And the way they said it was like quite offensive to the American people. Many of us who have supported this administration were scratching our heads like, wait a minute, there's a lady in jail for 20 years.
That's right.
And you're telling us nothing to see here. So now there's so many other people, pundits on the Republican side, the conservative side, saying, hey, wait a minute, you can't do that to us. Tell us what's going on, give us something, but don't give us nothing to see here. Doc, what are your thoughts on that?
First of all, President Trump, he has to be very, very careful because he can destroy the base that he built. He promised that he was going to drain the swamp, that he was going to uncover all types of nonsense and backdoor deals, but he hasn't done so on this issue. This issue really goes back to 2008. Remember when Jeffrey was arrested in Palm Beach? All right, and he was supposed to go to the state penitentiary, but instead he had a sweetheart deal where he went into the county prison, stayed there overnight, and in the daytime he was able to work. Now, what's also interesting about this, there was a black woman out of the Virgin Islands by the name of Denise George.
Yes, absolutely.
And she had investigated it. She investigated Jeffrey's activities with J.P. Morgan, who were hiding money, washing money, and allowing him to do his work in corrupting and destroying the lives of over 100 children.
Right.
All right. She was going to file suit against J.P. Morgan. She had filed suit against Jeffrey as not only a pedophile, but on the issue that he was transporting women across state lines.
Yes.
For drugs and for sex. All right. That he had abused people and so forth, and somehow through Alex Acosta, who was handling the case for the state, they gave him baby a ride.
You know, in the way they treated him, and just keep in mind, from 2011 until 2019, Pam Bundy was the Attorney General in the state of Florida. So this investigation, at some point, was right in front of her.
Absolutely.
So she saw this up close and personal. There's no way she didn't. She was the Attorney General in the state in which many of these instances were reported first, correct?
Right. But the problem is that Pam saw this, and I think she would have done a good job in trying to get him. However, now you're dealing with something that I call in my book the political elite, or the political establishment that Jeffrey was part of. He was well connected, making money for people, hiding money, hiding their secrets. And it didn't make a difference if they were Republicans or Democrats.
Absolutely.
He did it for both. So now Trump has found himself in a compromising situation. Because no matter what we think of Trump as being that tough guy, he too can be controlled by the political elite and their political establishment. And that's where it is now.
You know, it's interesting, Doc, you say that because that's exactly what we see. And I was just telling a friend of mine, retired federal officer, federal agent, and he even agreed that this is bigger than Trump.
Absolutely.
Okay? This is significantly bigger than Trump. And a couple of people are saying, well, this is about a national security issue. And I think it is. I think that Epstein had his tentacles so spread wide that there are a lot of people, and this could be a global challenge for us to get past.
Well, if you get down to the bottom of this, you really find out who runs this country.
Yes.
All right? I mean, like going back to the lady in the Virgin Islands, Denise George. She was fired from the case, and guess what? No one has heard from her since.
Right. Right.
She has completely disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was a big deal in the Virgin Islands. And from what I understand, there were people who were working over there on that island who lived across the water in the other islands.
That's right.
And they had testimony.
Yeah.
And what they had seen. Yeah. And all of a sudden it just went away. But I think when the president went in, and this was a lot of conversation on the campaign trail, that this was going to be one of the things that they dealt with swiftly. And now you come to a microphone and tell the American public nothing to see here.
You see, I like Trump, but he has destroyed the trust of the mega community.
Yes.
If you lie on this, that means you lie on anything. Mm-hmm. Right. Because it was so cut and dry. Mm-hmm. You know, white and black. There was no in-betweens here.
Right. And someone was convicted and sent to prison for 20 years.
Absolutely.
So how is there nothing to see here?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then send Miss Maxwell home.
I mean, they could have got the list from the manifest, who's on the plane.
Right. Yeah.
All right. They all had to go through some level of security or custom, even if he had a private jet. They had to go through.
No, when you fly on a private jet, the FAA requires everybody who's on the plane's names to be listed.
That's right.
You know what's interesting is Pam Bondi was filmed. First of all, Pam Bondi went and stood and said some words recently. Phil, you got that first clip.
Yep. Ready?
Listen to this.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. The existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly
Okay, stop it.
acknowledged.
Now, that's the Attorney General, stop it, Phil, making that statement. And further along in that same video, someone approached her at a restaurant, and she said the same thing to just a random person. How does it go from the mouth of the Florida Attorney General, who is now the United States Attorney General, who is saying these words publicly at a microphone, to nothing to see here?
Yeah. I mean, I know Pam, and she worked on a case that that dealt with my mother and father who was abused by another person. She's a good person.
Yes, she is.
And she's
I
an
know her.
honest person.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
But she's under threat.
Yes.
All right. If she says anything, they will not only destroy her career, but they may destroy her physically.
So you think she spoke too soon?
Yes. If I was her, I would have taken a chance and just release it, regardless of what the president stated. Because there comes a line whereby you have to do what is right, not what is politically feasible.
Okay. We just had some people make some quotes. Phil, Randy Ross.
Yeah.
Can you put that on the screen?
It's cut off, so I'll read it to you.
Okay, go ahead.
So it says, you have someone talking conservative opinions as recently turned from Democrat unbelievable. It's time to move on from Epstein. All you're doing is perpetuating fake news.
Okay.
And then he said Dr. White knows nothing of the trust of the MAGA community.
Okay. All right. You know Randy Ross.
Yeah, I know Randy.
Okay, and I know Randy.
All right,
okay?
all right.
Again, Randy. And I know Randy. Randy's been on my show many times. Just did the Shannon Burke show earlier today. I get it. There are a lot of people who are saying move on. If we move on from this and bite on nothing to see here, what does that say? What does that say, Randy? Okay, I get it. Randy's a mega guy. He'll support. If the president ran down the street and his drawers on backwards, Randy will be running with him with a bottle of water. I get it. But how do we just say, okay, nothing to see here? This is the same thing we attacked the Democrats for covering up.
Absolutely.
We went after the Democrats for covering this up consistently and all the time. How dare they cover this up? Children are involved.
Absolutely.
So now we've arrived at a point where we're saying, again, I think right now the president's numbers are up, okay? Things are going well. There's some remarkable things happening. But we just can't say, okay, nothing to see here. I'm not
First
going to
of all-
bite on that.
First of all, if you say just go on, I'm talking to Randy and the people who follow him. All right, that makes you complicit in the crime, and that also makes you disingenuous, and you forget about the hundreds of children whose lives have been destroyed by individuals such as Jeffrey and his colleagues and associates who took these kids to Little James Island in the Virgin Islands. All right? That cannot be ignored. And if we ignore it and act like, oh, just move on, that makes us no better than the people that we criticize. In fact, going in reference to my changing, if you look at my policies, Randy, or anyone else, my policies don't change. All right? I am very, very consistent. Now, if you want to go there, I challenge you to look at my policies. It's no different.
Okay. You know, it's interesting, I think, when we try to turn away from a real conversation with something as mediocre as that. I'm just saying, on the Don Miller Show, went after the Democrats a lot
Absolutely.
on covering for Epstein. I look like an idiot to sit at this microphone and be comfortable with nothing to see here. That ain't who I am, and that ain't the show I do.
Absolutely.
Okay? So there's some guys out here who switched gears on it real quickly. Sorry, I want to, if this lady's in jail for doing all these horrible things that I believe she did,
Yes.
I believe she did all of them.
She was the pimp.
okay? Right, yes,
She was the pimp.
absolutely. So now we're saying, all right, well, you know what? No big deal, nothing to see here. Then you are not a genuine person, and you can kiss my ass and turn to something else. I don't care who you are or what party you belong to. This is not okay. We're talking about minor children, daughters,
That's right.
young women.
That's right.
Okay? Cut it out. It's not okay. And if anybody thinks it's okay to act like it didn't happen, then you got me confused, because I don't do that. And I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this, Phil, but you are not going to get me to say, okay, cool, just because somebody said look the other way. And I want to shout out all of these conservatives, these high-powered Alex Jones and Bongino and all of these guys who are saying, no, we can't do this. Just for credibility purposes, we can't do this.
Absolutely.
Listen to me. We have to want to know. If you don't want to know what the truth is, then you've been full of shit your whole life.
Absolutely.
Oh, shout out my good friend, man. I love you, Jeff, man. Jeff Borshowitz, the owner, president of Corona Cigars, man. We had a wonderful conversation about this.
Do you say Coronas?
Corona Cigar, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where you can find me. These are my great friends, Jeff and Tanya. They are absolutely wonderful people. And Jeff is a great conversationalist. We talk about a lot of topics, but he is a true conservative who is all about the truth. And again, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you a lot. Listen, I want to quickly turn the corner, but I'm not going to ever tell anybody that we should move on from this. And anybody that does either got their head up President Trump's booty hole, okay, or they're not paying attention, or they don't have children,
Yeah.
or they don't love children.
I mean, you got to have integrity.
Yes.
All right? And the integrity doesn't stop at party lines.
It can't.
Truth is truth.
It can't.
Right and wrong.
Yes.
All right? And no, why aren't they talking about the hundreds of children's lives that were destroyed?
Again, think about
They're the
this.
victims.
Think about this, right? You know, these are the same people that talk about victims.
Yeah.
These young people were victims. And it's proof. Somebody got something. Somebody knows something. Again, if it has something to do with national security, I get it. Then just tell us that. But don't come to the microphone and say nothing to see here.
I mean, there's some people are suggesting that Jeffrey was part of the secret police force of Israel.
The Mossad.
The Mossad.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know about that, but there's something there.
Right.
How he is able to get away with things. People look the other way. I mean, you have a guy who got fired from his jobs as a teacher. You have a guy who never held any real position, but somehow was able to maneuver himself into the most powerful communities of American society, politically
Yes.
and economically. Somehow he got help.
Again, I want to get away from it. I can't do this show without talking about it.
Yeah.
But again, look at the news media. okay, not covering it. Thank you, Brian. The problem is, I get it. If it's a national security situation, just come to the microphone and tell us, look, guys, I know many of you want to hear this, but this is not the time, we're not in the time and the place to say what really went on. But when you tell me, Don Miller, ain't nothing to see here, when you've been putting it in my head and egging all of us on that this guy was the worst possible person in the world when he was convicted in the state of Florida of doing these horrible things, and then all of a sudden it was a hoax. No, I'm good. Thank you so much again. Feel free to drop us a message. Hey, subscribe and like, man. How can they drop us a message, Phil?
They can message us on
YouTube.
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, just say what you got to say. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support. Subscribe and like. But yeah, man, I'm sorry, man. Look, maybe it's where I come from, but I ain't gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Oh, no.
I'm good on that.
One thing about the streets don't lie.
No, not at all.
You got to
Not at
come
all.
correct.
You know, it's interesting too. Speaking of that, I got really confused the other day. I was watching a congressional hearing about Joe Biden, and they were interviewing Jill Biden's chief of staff. The First Lady has a chief of staff. They brought this guy to the microphone, and the questions were pointed questions. He probably had them before he went and sat in the room. And I want to play this clip and get your thoughts, Doc.
Mr. Bernal, did you ever advise President Joe Biden to pardon his son, Hunter Biden?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Thank you. We're going to go off the record real quick. Okay, we'll go back on the record. Mr. Bernal, was President Joe Biden fit to exercise the duties of the president?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Mr. Bernal has invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Mr. Bernal, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Mr. Bernal, did any unelected official or family member of President Joe Biden execute the duties of the presidency?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Mr. Bernal has invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Mr. Bernal, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Mr. Bernal, did President Joe Biden ever instruct you to lie regarding his health at any time, including but not limited in your testimony to Congress today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully
Phil,
decline to answer the question
Phil, stop
pursuant
it
to
right
my...
here, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Doc, what is that?
This guy utilized the Fifth Amendment 18 times during his interview, his testimony.
18?
18 times, right? They should not only interview him and bring him on, they need to bring every member of the Biden cabinet.
Absolutely.
Along with the top shelf congressional leaders and the senatorial leaders, because they all knew something was wrong with him. The sad and the most dangerous part of this is that we had an absentee president for a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Right.
All right? And we don't know who was running the government.
Right.
That's the bigger issue.
And it's amazing because the game is being played, right, at a level that has never really been played in front of the American people. And I'm amazed that there's still people saying, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
On both sides. There's
Yes.
always something to see, and we as American citizens deserve to know what it is.
And that is why many Americans are getting pissed off with both parties.
Absolutely.
Because they're seeing that the top brass of both, they're one and the same.
Yes.
They cover for themselves.
Yeah.
because they don't want to show the hypocrisy, the dirtiness of the bureaucracy that is controlling and manipulating and creating a narrative that's being shoved down the mouth and the throats of the American people, which is one big lie.
It's just amazing, though. Think about this, Phil. Excuse me, Doc. Just think about this, Phil. I take my black ass in court, right?
Okay.
And take the fifth 18 times. How this going to work out for me?
It's not going to work out.
It's not.
It's not going to work out for you.
It's not going to work out for most
Your
people.
backside is going to jail.
It's not going to work out for most people, black or white.
Absolutely.
That's
But
a
it
Dave
works
Chappelle
out for
skit.
the elite,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
It works out for the elite.
Yeah.
And this is what the people are tired of. They're tired of seeing people who can just go in on a congressional subpoena. He was subpoenaed to come before that committee.
They make a mockery of democracy and
Absolutely,
justice.
absolutely.
All right, which means they don't care nothing about this society that we believe in.
Yeah, again, rarely have we seen, thank you, Shelley, rarely have we seen, this is the challenge to people like Randy Ross and many of the people who are just enamored. Let's use that word today, right?
Yeah.
There's some good people who supported this administration
Surely.
simply based, and I know 3 or 4 people, middle of the road, who gravitated toward this administration for words like transparency. That brought them.
That's right.
Words like corruption and getting rid of it. I don't think people understand just how many people went to Trump just based on those words.
I mean, he got a lot of people out to vote for him on those words.
And they all weren't conservative Republicans.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right. And I want people to understand that just because you criticize Trump doesn't mean that you don't like him. All right. We don't have to be a yes man to everything. We want him to tell the truth, do the right thing, as we want all of our political leaders to do.
Say that again, Dr. White. I
You
think
want
people,
him
I
to
think
do-
people have people confused about that. You don't have to worship them to.
That's right. You don't have to worship him. You don't have to be a yes man. We can critique him. We can tell him the truth and still like him
A lot.
and support him.
Yes.
But be honest.
Right. And I think that's what it's hard to get people to understand. I am very concerned at what I'm seeing because the whole throw the rock and hide your hand is, we're living in a season of exposure, Doc. You mentioned that to me a long time ago.
Yeah.
In a season of exposure, you have to really be on it or you're going to get exposed.
Yes.
And we have to know who we can trust and who we can't trust. And I just want to shout out all of those people in this administration who are saying, no, I'm good. You know, including the Speaker of the House the other day was like, nope. People want to know. I represent the people.
Absolutely.
People want to know.
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson, did you see him?
Yes.
He's like, people want to know.
Absolutely.
I represent the people.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Absolutely. So we have to be careful because we wanted to know about Joe Biden. And we did whatever we could do to find out, was he there or was he not?
That's right.
Including having congressional hearings even after he's gone. We still want to know.
Yes.
Even though it probably won't make a difference, we still want to know.
The difference that it would make, and which they're afraid of, is that we really find out again who really controls this country. All right? There's other people behind and under and around the presidency. No matter how good that man is or woman, they will corrupt, they will threaten, and they will seize his power. Even though he may be like a Trump, bodacious and loud, is a very powerful entity there that needs to be exposed.
And again, you know, as Confucius said so eloquently, or maybe said or said in some way, it's not a shame to be deceived, but it is to stay in deception.
Yes.
The shame comes when you stay in deception.
Yeah. Well, we see it on the streets on the South Side. Once bitten, twice shy.
Right. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I think it's very important that we understand that we are not attacking anybody, or we're just saying this is how we all should be right now. Everybody should be raising their hand, wanting to know more. Books don't bite, man. I talk about that on the show all the time. Books don't bite. We have to seek knowledge.
Yeah.
And the greatest weapon, as Stephen Biko said so eloquently, the greatest weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
Absolutely. I mean, the political elite, they have really pushed this agenda that the populace, the people should not read, should not analyze, should not critique. We should just accept
No doubt.
what is being done. And that makes us slaves. And this country was not developed, the democracy, the Constitution, to create the American people in this manner as being slaves.
Again, I say it on the show, at least every show, at least one time. Frederick Douglass. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave.
Absolutely.
Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. And I just believe we have to seek knowledge. We have to engage. We have to hold these people. Listen to me. And I want to just speak to the common man in America, black, white, or whatever you are. One of the most valuable things you hold in your possession is your vote. Is your vote. Your vote is extremely valuable. And depending on the economic situation you live in, your vote could be your wealth.
Absolutely.
And you have to value your vote. And when you give someone your vote, holding them accountable is only the right thing to do. And it's amazing how you give somebody your vote and people think you should, all right, here you go, and turn around and not pay attention. That's when you get got.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy.
absolutely.
When I give you my vote, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow your policies, your legislative actions, and we all should. We all should know who we gave our currency to.
Yeah.
If I gave my cousin $10, he told me he needed $10. One of the first things I'm going to ask him, what you going to do with it? Phil, what you going to do with that $10, Steve? Right? That right? Because I had to work for this $10.
Yeah.
So I earned it, but I'm going to give it to you. And there are people who say, well, if you're going to give it to somebody, you shouldn't care. Nah, see, that's a curveball too.
Absolutely.
When you give someone your vote and you don't hold them accountable, this is why we see our communities, especially our communities, Doc, Phil, get ravaged and kicked down the road. This is why we look at Baltimore and Chicago and all of these communities of color. Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
That look the same way they looked 40 years ago, yet we have voted overwhelmingly Democrat.
Yeah. And what happens is that these same people, the Democratic leaders, they have cheapened the vote. For example, a few weeks ago, congressional leaders like Maxwell Frost and a host of others voted to allow illegals to gain the vote in the District of Columbia.
Right.
If that would have occurred, that would begin the cycle for that to occur throughout the country. They cheapened the vote.
Well, I think that goes back to the whole illegal situation, and I try to tell people what this is really all about. When you're watching this influx of illegal people coming to this country, this is a setup, Doc. This is the new voter for the Democratic Party. People can take it any way you want to take it, but that's what this is about, right?
Yes.
And they're getting health care. When we got to wait in line, people who've carved out a position in this country, worked, and families have been here for hundreds of years, and we got to wait in line for 6 hours when an illegal and his family who snuck over the border, they have a VIP line for him, Doc.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look what's taking place in L.A. The mayor of L.A. has pushed an agenda to give illegals $50,000 each, saying that they can't find a job, that they're afraid to leave their home, and that they need to be covered by the state. Mind you, she governs a city whereby almost 30% of the poor community, the African-American community, the Hispanic community are homeless.
Yes.
All right? And she's not giving them a dime.
Right.
And we see this policy taking place throughout the country.
Absolutely.
So the American people have to really begin to ask the question, who represents you?
And I think, and especially in the black community, we've been playing this game longer than anybody else. And I'll give you an example. Back in 2019, when Elijah Cummings, the congressman from Baltimore, passed away, and I saw the Negro. The Negro was making up stories about this guy, right? Mm-hmm. If you live in Baltimore, Maryland, and I've been to Baltimore a lot.
Yeah.
This guy was your congressman for many, many, many years. But your community looked the same way it did when he became your congressman. Mm-hmm. Yet, $4-5 billion came into that community, blocks away from the hood, and went into the harbor, into the waterfront, to make that fabulous. Mm-hmm. Yet, there's still buildings that were burned in the 70s during the riots in Baltimore.
Like New Jersey, like Newark.
You go to Newark, okay, and look at Newark, and you voted the same way in Newark, and nothing has changed. You look at Chicago. You voted the same way in Chicago, and you continue to go down the list to these cities that you stand and cheer for these black Democrats who did nothing for you but gave you an emotional moment to say they look like you.
You see that the establishment grooms these people from even high school. They know what type of individual will do nothing for their community. Mm-hmm. So they groomed them to look good, to speak good, to have real cool sophistication. However, they know that when they're in power, they will not do anything for the community. And that's the type of people they want. Sadly, on both sides.
I call it the PAN program. Pick a Negro, right?
Yeah.
Okay? And I've called it that for years because I get it, man. Everybody wants to feel like somebody who looks like them is going to save the day. Yeah. We tried that with Barack Hussein Obama.
It didn't work, did it?
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah. Remember, he used to come to my class when I was teaching at the University of Illinois and talk. Mm-hmm. And at that time, he was trying to get a foothold. But he didn't control Chicago.
Right, at all.
All right. He was nobody.
Right.
All right, because people saw right through him.
Mm-hmm. All right. No, again, it's funny you bring that up. I was talking to some friends of mine the other day, and the lady was like, oh, my God, people on the south side of Chicago must have been so proud.
Please.
They didn't know him.
No.
They'd never heard of him.
No.
The first time people in Chicago heard of him was in 2004 at the Democratic Convention in Boston. I was there, okay? Uh-huh. And I was like, who's this cat? And they were like, oh, he's from Chicago. Like, where in Chicago?
Yeah.
But Michelle Robinson.
Oh, she's a real Chicago girl.
His wife, who was connected to the Daley administration, was a real Chicago person who was dug in politically. Mm-hmm. But again, we are emotional and not information.
I mean, they didn't know that people like Danny Davis ate him up. Bobby Rush ate him up. Jesse
Bobby
Jackson ate him up. Louis Farrakhan beat him up. Reverend Wright beat him up.
But yes, again, it's like, oh, we got somebody. Okay, the problem is we got to pull back from the emotion and seek information. And this is how we got. When the old man from Atlanta passed away, I can't remember the congressman. He had pictures of Dr. King, even though, what was the congressman? Passed away from Atlanta field. Young guy. He was a young King guy. He was with Dr. King.
Yeah.
Young guy.
I can see this name.
Okay.
I can see him, but
he passed away, and they gave him this state funeral. And I was trying to remember or figure out what was his greatest accomplishment. And I couldn't find any.
You're not going to find anything.
Couldn't find it.
Most of them.
And I'm like, okay, they gave him a state funeral. The Bushes came. The Clintons were there. Everybody was at this congressman's funeral. It'll come to me in a minute. And
John Lewis?
John Lewis. And I was trying, what was John Lewis's greatest accomplishment? His district had third world HIV/AIDS numbers, even though he sponsored in the midst of his district having third world HIV/AIDS numbers. He sponsored a bill to get money for Zika, Z-I-K-A, which less than 500 people in the country had.
Yeah. I mean, Lewis got credit because he got beat up. All right? So therefore, they put him at the level of a Martin Luther King. He did not organize.
He was not an organizer.
He wasn't a power broker within the movement. But because he got beat up, had his picture, then they said, well, he's a disciple of King, and that he knew something. He never did anything that was good for his community.
And you know what's
But have chicken dinners.
But you know what's
That's all he
funny,
did.
Doc? So a white couple, great friends of mine, Bill and Ann, asked me a question. And I tell people this all the time. You can like Reverend Jackson or not, but I can point to some differences Jesse Jackson made.
Absolutely.
Okay? You can like him or not. You can say what you want to say about him, but I can point to his body of work that made a difference in our community.
Absolutely.
I cannot and will not point to a guy who made no difference except for the fact that he looked like me.
Yeah.
I could point to the differences Danny K. Davis made.
That's right.
I could point to the differences Corrine Brown, Alcee Hastings, Carrie Meeks
That's right.
made.
Absolutely.
You follow me?
Yes.
But I'm not going to, just because they were black, tell you they were solid. I don't care who they are or how heralded they are. At the end of the day, I could point to the differences Louis Farrakhan has made in the black community.
Absolutely.
I knew hundreds of young black men were at risk, headed to prison. Life was a wrap.
Yeah.
Who engaged in the Nation of Islam, who became great fathers and great husbands, still to this day.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have to buy or engage in someone's ideology to look at the differences that are being made. So even as a conservative black guy from the most liberal city in America, I give credit where credit is due. So I'm not going to have a conversation with you and say Jesse Jackson didn't make a difference. He made a gigantic
Operation
difference.
Operation Breadbasket was pushing
Again.
every Saturday.
Absolutely. Oh, they were feeding families. They were
Absolutely.
educating people, right?
That's
so
right.
when you talk about John Lewis, I'm scratching my head and saying, what did he
Okay.
do?
That's
When you
right.
talk about the gentleman from Baltimore, Elijah Cummings, what did he do?
Absolutely.
I could go down the list. Even the congressman from South Carolina, James Clyburn, what did he do?
Nothing.
Nothing. And and people are like, well, Don, you can't say. Yes, I can, because I'm true to this, not new to this. I study these people. I can go and find legislative action. You too. You can head over to opensecrets.org and find out who wrote the checks.
Absolutely.
And if the checks are coming from certain entities, you are not at the interest of these
You
politicians.
see, these people, they bank on the fact that the African American community, the poor community, the Latino community will not fact check, will not do the research.
Right.
All right. Or, in fact, with the black community, all they say, well, all you have to do is give them a chicken dinner. You know, bring some
fried
music.
catfish, some catfish.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give them a lottery ticket, and they're happy.
You know, P.J. Brown just said Sharpton and Crump show up. First of all,
Crump.
Al-
I put that in my book. I mean,
Okay.
Crump is nothing more than an ambulance chaser.
Absolutely.
All right. The
And-
man, the man has never won a real case. All right.
Right.
If you call him, the first thing and I know this from personal
know you do.
experience.
I know you
All
do.
right. He will ask, has anyone got hurt? Did anyone die? If no one is seriously hurt, no one died, he's not going to take the case because his job is just to be an ambulance chaser. And they have put him up as if he's a leader.
And again, you look at Al Sharpton. These
Oh, man,
guys,
he's a crook.
he's a crook.
You know, I
And
remember.
it's a difference. Shout out to Real Rap Kane. Head over to Real Rap Kane. Real Rap Kane said something to me, man. And Doc, you know where I'm from. And I never saw it this way. Real Rap Kane had to explain to me over a nice cigar and a drink of scotch, explain the difference between a crook and a criminal. You follow me?
Yeah,
Crooks are worse than criminals.
absolutely.
And I never saw it like that until he explained it to me. Shout out to Real Rap, came from North Philly. Phil, you know Real Rap.
Yeah, well, what's the difference though?
Criminals, a crook will get anybody.
That's right.
Criminals generally stay in their lane. Doc and I grew up with criminals
Right.
and crooks.
That's right.
That's what I thought. I was going to say criminals follow a code.
Let me just
there's
say
a,
this.
there's a code. You're
Let me
absolutely
just
right.
say
There's a
this.
code.
I had a buddy named Skeeter, and I had a buddy named Possum. Skeeter stole cars. That's all he did. He never jacked a car, but he stole cars. He never went to a car that an individual was in. But if it was parked and nobody was in it, he got you. Skeeter was a thief. But he never broke into a house because that makes him a burglar. Everybody had a lane of criminality. And if you graduate, even by hook or crook, then certain people in certain lanes cut you off.
Right.
When Skeeter stole a car and didn't know the baby was in the back seat, the car thief community cut him off because he graduated to another level of criminality.
That's right.
When Possum robbed the store, Mr. Bland's store, with somebody in it, he became an armed robber and not a thief.
I remember living around
Phil, you get
69th
it?
and Merle,
I get it.
right? And the Stones were there, right? Now the Stones, they may have been a rough group. They never bothered children,
Nope,
never bothered wives
Nope.
and women.
nope.
In fact, I could park my car on 69th with my windows down,
Absolutely.
and they wouldn't touch it. They make sure nobody bothered.
Right.
There was a code.
There was a code. And I'm seeing this, and it's still, well, it did exist for a long time because you didn't have to worry about the police if you violated a senior citizen, a woman,
Oh, yeah.
or a child. The police was your last, people were going to the police.
That's right.
Because the streets were going to handle that.
That's right.
But when I look at the political scenario in America today, they're crooks.
All of them.
All of
They
them.
have no ethics.
No ethics. None. Right? And it's amazing because we vote for people that don't vote for us. We give them our currency in these small counties in Florida and Tennessee, and they go to D.C. And more often, and I got to say this, Doc, more often in the black community than the white community, because the white community, you got people who are going to follow your legislative work. In the black community, once you're gone, and they go up there and cut side deals all the time.
Oh, yeah. Because they want to be included.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
Rubber elbows. Yeah.
So thank you so much again. Subscribe and like. This is the Don Miller Show, man. We appreciate you so much. Our guest, Dr. White, who is a wonderful scholar. His book is Blacklisted. It's on Amazon. It's a great read. Blacklisted, The Price for Speaking Truth. And Doc, you've been speaking truth for a long time.
My
and
entire
you
life.
have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, like Randy Ross.
They're arguing with Randy in the comments.
Randy Ross, he rubbed Randy the wrong way.
Well, you know-
Maxwell Frost, you done rubbed these people
You
the wrong
know,
way.
I don't care because truth is truth. I mean, Vandy is, I like him. But interesting, you know, I put it right out there since he called me out. And that is, he is the one who told me, you know what? Run as a Democrat because the Republicans will never elect you.
He did say that.
He did say that.
And look, everybody knows Randy's my friend.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go drink beer with Randy. I ain't got no problem with Randy. But the point I make is this. We have to be careful when we engage politically.
Absolutely.
And we have to do it differently, Randy. I get it, Randy. You could kind of maneuver in your space differently than us. When
That's right.
Dr. White ran as a Republican, it wasn't the white people that came after you. It was the black people.
Absolutely.
When you ran for Congress the first time, and you and I have known each other for a
Long
long
time,
time.
long time.
Okay?
Yes.
And I had heard about you as a professor, as a scholar, way before I met you. And I met you more than 20.
Yes.
And when you ran as a Republican, it was black people were like, man, he crazy. And I'm like, no, he's really a really wonderful, very smart guy. And they were like, well, that's because you're a Republican, Don Miller. Okay? That's exactly what they said, right?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, they don't get ignorant of me because they know I know the T.
That's
okay?
right. That's right.
The fact is, we got to do better because we're getting okey-doked. Real quick before we get out of here, I got to talk about this growth, Doc, and I know you can eloquently speak to it more than anybody, of the democratic socialist in this country. You got that clown in New York
Right.
that's running for mayor. And let me say to the New Yorkers, to all my friends in New York who are living there now, if this guy win, y'all need to pack your grip
Yeah.
because this dude's a clown, Doc.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's not just him running. You have a guy in Minnesota by the name of Omar Fatal.
Nuts.
All right.
I want you to play Omar's clip. You got a clip from Omar in Minnesota?
Is that the one?
That's a weird, the little
Heard them
weird
being
looking
called
dude.
terrorists.
Him?
We heard them being called drug dealers. We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat out lie. You want to know who the real threat is, Madam President? I'll give you a hint. They don't look like our chief author. They don't look like the folks up in the gallery. They don't look like the folks on the rotunda. They look like many of the members that sit in the front. And you don't have to take my word for it. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race.
That means he's
Not
really
our
going after the
immigrants.
black vote.
Okay, now listen to this guy, right?
Yeah.
Is he Somalian, right?
Right.
He's got to be Somalian. He's in
He
Minnesota,
is.
right?
He is. I mean, he did some work first in Washington and Baltimore area.
Right.
But yeah, he's Somalian. And what's so interesting about him, as well as Madani, is that he couldn't preach his ideology in Somalia. They would get rid of him
Right,
because it doesn't jive with their culture and their thinking.
right,
And Madani could not preach this ideology in Uganda,
right,
where he is born.
right.
All right. But they come here, they preach an ideology, and they really going after the FBAs, Foundational Black Americans.
Us.
That's it.
Us, yes,
They
us.
figure that if they can get into our emotional way again and get us to believe that, well, there's no hope, it got to be a socialistic or an extremist view, they will come on to that. But they don't know their history.
But again, so think about this. So the rise in democratic socialism. Doc, what is democratic socialism for our listeners?
But democratic socialism is the base that the state should do most of the work. They should control elements of entrepreneurship, private enterprises, government services such as buses and so forth. You will basically do very little economic growth for yourself. The state would do it for you. That's what it is.
So kind of Karl Marx.
Yes, I mean, you have to read Capital
Right.
to understand it. Karl Marx's book, Capital.
Right, absolutely. You got to read that book. Phil, go find that book. I know it's on Amazon. You got to read that book because when you go look and you look at Rashida Tlaib and AOC, these are democratic socialists.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, democratic socialists. These two guys right now that's running for mayor of major American cities. Well, I think the guy in New York's a nut job. I think he's just a nut job.
I don't trust him for one of the reasons I don't trust him is because, and I'm a Muslim like he is, right? It's because he lied trying to get into a school and he argued that he was a black American.
Yes, he did.
All right?
Yes, he did.
I don't like that.
Yes.
He tries to say, well, I'm from Africa and I'm an American, I'm an African American. Well, damn it, you know what you're saying.
And he was
All right.
rich.
That's
he was
right.
looking for free school.
That's right.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
see, so he's going to use our struggle that we died for to enhance his position.
Yep.
And that happens so often,
Often, absolutely.
not only with East African, but with East Africans a lot,
Absolutely.
who are Indian descent.
Absolutely. And that, look, this is why I love Phil, Doc coming here and bring heat a
Yep,
lot.
yep.
And this is very important because shout out to my buddy who always gets me thinking, Osiris. Man, I love you so much, bro. It is very important that, let me explain to our listeners. I'll let you do it, Professor. Foundational Black American. That's a difference. Go
That's
ahead.
right. Foundational Black Americans are African Americans, Black people who have history, blood, sweat, and tears within this country. They can trace at least go back 2 or 3 generations that says that their parents were part of the slave tradition,
Yep.
all right, of the 19th century.
Right.
Now, if you just came over yesterday, all right, from Jamaica or from Ghana or whatever you want to come,
right.
you may be Black, you may even sound Black, but you're not an FBA
Right. Absolutely.
because you don't have no cultural heritage and struggles in this country.
Yes.
And that has to be a distinction.
And I think it has to be a distinction because people are using it now to take advantage of opportunities that were set forth to look out and to benefit foundational Black Americans.
I mean, look at it. In fact, you go to the universities. I mean, most of the Blacks who are in high levels are not FBAs. They're coming from someplace else. Even our our Sergeant General of the state,
Right.
he's not an FBA.
Right.
Even though we have a number of good MDs who are FBAs.
Right.
All right. And they take these positions, and the larger society say, what's the problem? They're Black too. Yeah, they're Black in skin tone, but not up here.
Right.
All right. And they don't have the struggle, and they don't have the attitude, because FBAs have an attitude. We can smell racism. All right.
You know what? And let me say, Doc, racism ain't all from white people.
No, it's from some of your own people.
Yes.
And it's also other people.
Ands. Osiris like to call them ands.
That's right.
Okay? And it's funny because when I look at, I was talking to a friend of mine, shout out to Quetta Jean Johnson from the Johnson family of ridiculous behavior. Now, I wasn't talking to her about this, but I was talking to a friend of mine who works in HR, and he was telling me about the Indian community, okay, and how they come to the workforce and only look out for the Indian community.
Yeah.
And my son, who is really, he's doing well in corporate America, real tech guy, he's like, Dad, I got to get out of here because racism ain't just from white people to Black people.
I'll put it like this. When the last time you've seen a Black, FBA, marry an Indian? They have something called mercy killings, and something I'm dealing with the case right now. All right, whereby a
Thanks,
Black,
Shelley Joe.
whereby a Black fellow was dating the daughter of an Indian, and the parents went out to kill the daughter, saying that she was dishonoring the family.
Absolutely. I've heard
All
it
right.
a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I know, I can tell you, I know an Indian family from India whose daughter met a wonderful young white guy. Great kid. I love this kid. Got his master's, doing great. And the family said, before we let you marry him, we will send you back to India.
Right.
And I'm like, this is a good dude. And he came to me. He was like, Mr. Don, can you meet me for a glass of wine? And I met with him. Great dude, like wonderful young man, right? And he's in love with the young lady. She's in love with him. And the parents told her, you'll go back to India before we let you marry a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm scratching my head like, what is this about? But then I understand that we have to look at racism across the board. We have pigeonholed racism as Black versus white, and it's not. It is broad. It is prejudice. It is a whole box because these Indians come here and they sign white on their applications.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful book, Working Toward Whiteness. Phil, put that on the screen. It's on Amazon, Working Toward Whiteness. And it talks about how many of the immigrants come to this country, dark-skinned immigrants,
Oh, yeah.
okay, and their quest is not to assimilate with us, foundational black Americans, working toward whiteness. That's a book, Phil. You see it? It's a great read, How America's Immigrants Became White, Working Toward Whiteness.
Absolutely.
You can go find it. Shelley, I want you to go grab that, Shelley.
Let me tell you a story real quick. My first trip to Libya, and I love Gaddafi. I thought he's
Phil,
a good
we're going to
guy.
go late.
All right. And I was with some other professors. They were white. My guides and the guides, they was very respectful to them. How you doing, Dr. So-and-so and Professor so-and-so? Are you having a good time? Came to me. They said, what's up? Where's the funk? You see? They think that we're different.
First of all,
Less than.
if they know you like I know you, you don't know where the funk is.
Yeah.
Okay? We knew where the funk was.
They're lucky they didn't get slapped.
Okay, right. We knew where the funk was back in the day.
Yeah,
Okay? It was
yeah.
on 39th and Cottage Grove.
That's right.
At the fort. At the fort.
We have to have a session one day just talking about Chicago history
Yes.
and the language.
And how we grew up, Doc.
Yeah.
Doc, tell the listening audience, tell the people watching about your academic career. Please, can you do that for me?
Oh, surely.
Okay.
I mean, my academic career, my first school was at Bethune-Cookman. From there, I went to Purdue University. All right. From there, I went to University of Chicago, then Ohio State University. My father was a old member of the UNIA, his father. So I was brought up with
Tell
a
them what
lot
that
of
is.
the Universal Negro Improvement Association,
Absolutely.
headed by Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey.
All right.
Yep.
And we never followed any concept that we were inferior to anyone.
Right.
Black pride, black strength, black entrepreneurship.
Right.
My father never worked
And
for anyone.
this is what I want the listeners to know. White people supported that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
All right. And it's the ones who didn't support that were many African Americans because they thought that you were being too pushy, too aggressive, and you're going to mess it up for them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You see?
So you went to Purdue, Ohio
Yeah,
State.
yeah,
Where did you
and-
get your doctorate?
Ohio State.
Okay.
I studied under a guy by the name of Warren Van Time. He was a Eastern European Jew, German Jew actually. But he really taught some good work in reference to understanding race dynamics. At Purdue, I worked with a guy who was named Harry Haywood. Very brilliant scholar in his own right. I worked with some good people. I was the last student under Helen Edmonds.
Wow.
Helen Edmonds
Right.
was a conservative, and she was the first woman, first black, in fact, to second the nomination of a major presidential candidate. She seconded the nomination of Eisenhower. She wrote the book in 1969, Black Faces in High Places, that everybody talks about.
Wonderful book.
Tremendous.
And it's still on Amazon. You can still get that book.
I mean-
and it's amazing because when I talked to Doc, he came from where I came from, and he worked hard, and everything that he has earned.
Absolutely.
I listened to him. He's a guy that I can call Phil and pick his brain. He always takes my calls. And going back to what you just said, I want to say to the young lady who asked me a question about the NAACP, Mary Ovington, white lady,
Yeah.
was a part of the founders of the NAACP.
And
there
what-
were 3 Jews.
That's right.
Yes.
And where was it founded? Springfield, Illinois.
Yes. Okay.
All
And
right.
so when people don't understand how we got here, W.E.B., Ida B. Wells, Mary Ovington, Mary White Ovington, and there was another gentleman who was Jewish. But we have come so far away from engaging across racial lines that it's starting to hurt us.
Yeah.
So I want people, books don't bite, Phil. Books don't bite. I say it again, books don't bite. I want to encourage everybody to read. Again, Doctor, thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
us, man.
Thank you, Don.
Look, subscribe and like. Shoot us an inbox. Doc, how can they follow you?
They can follow me on nohegemony.com.
Okay. But I want you to get the book, guys. Phil, put the camera over here. You can follow him on social media right there. That's his social media. Please go follow him. I want everybody to follow him. He's a brilliant scholar. But you got to read this book, guys. Blacklisted, The Price for Speaking True. Doc, many years ago, was blacklisted because he said things that no person who looks like me was supposed to say. You stood on principle.
Absolutely.
At the University of Central Florida, where you were a professor.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, Doc, I thank you for that. You didn't back down. Feel free to subscribe and like to the broadcast. The Don Miller Show, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow me on all platforms. Inbox me. Holler at your boy, man. Yeah. We love you so much. Shout out to Corona Cigar. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I started smoking cigars in the last maybe 6 years. It ain't about the cigar as much as it's about the fellowship.
Yeah.
Okay? I meet great guys. Real Rap Kane, Brother Osiris, man. Some wonderful guys. Timmy McClain. And my group of brothers, man, that I bond with. Liberal Bob. He's white and he's liberal, but I love him. And we call his ass Liberal Bob. Matt, both Matts, all the Matts. Yeah. Lou Forte, who is like my godfather. I love you, Lou. It's amazing when you sit and talk with people. You have to find an environment conducive to the conversation being real. And that is where I found it. Again, it's not, you don't have to smoke, but I got a big event coming up at Corona Cigar that I'm going to be at. I'm going to invite a lot of people to. I'm going to talk about it next Thursday. You ain't got to smoke.
Well, in a few weeks, I'll be in Brazil, and I'm going to bring back some cohibas for you.
Please, Doc. Please.
Right,
okay?
They make some of the best cohibas.
I know,
I don't
Doc.
smoke, but
I know you don't smoke. You don't drink either.
No, I don't drink.
You just bring me the cigars.
I will.
All right. I love you so much, Dr. White. You can follow Dr. White. Put him back up there one more time before we go. Please follow him. If you got questions, he will respond to your messages if you send him questions. Right, Doc?
Absolutely.
He's a scholar. He's a legitimate guy who loves the truth. Again, thank you so much, everybody. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Check your feelings, he's turning wrongs to right. Every Thursday at 8, his voice takes the stage. The man's got soul like a record with age, yeah.